Good afternoon, and congratulations to all the Order of West Range and Achievement Award recipients that we've just honored. It's a true honor to be able to represent all our alumni as we pay tribute to a few who've distinguished themselves as undergraduate pikes, achieving the highest award for student members. On Thursday, we initiated the great-great-grandson of founder Littleton Waller Tazewell, and that night we celebrated our international president, Shad Williams, and his expanded forehead. I'm quoting his dad, who, for those of you who missed the Thursday night banquet, but great run, Shad. Great run, Shad. Yesterday we visited the birthplace of our fraternity, and today we lift up the most recent Robertson Outstanding Undergraduate Award winner and runners-up as part of our special 150th celebration. And this award is named in honor of Jinx Robertson, a 1970 initiate, who I would like to say a few words about before I introduce the recipients. Jinx served as advisor to my chapter at Virginia Tech, and we were always intrigued by his favorite quote, which is the creed by which he lived his life. It went like this: "It is not what he has, nor even what he does, that directly expresses the worth of a man, but who he is." And that's so applicable to the men we've honored today. Jinx dedicated himself to PIKE and spent his professional career at Virginia Tech serving as Epsilon's chapter advisor for 17 years. He became more than an advisor, really, to most of us, a valued mentor. Tragically, he died at a young age of 53 when struck and killed by a drunk driver while crossing a busy roadway approaching our chapter house. And this award was endowed by our Epsilon brothers. Every year, an exceptional group of young men are nominated, making it extremely difficult to select a single recipient among them. I'll first congratulate two men who placed as runners-up. Nathan Dean, Nathan Dean, who's from Kettering University, the Zeta Alpha chapter, and Trevor Casby, Cal State Fullerton from U Epsilon. And Trevor's with us today, so Trevor, I'd like you to stand and be recognized. Trevor. And now our 2018 Robertson Outstanding Undergraduate Award recipient is Jon Reesman from Zeta Chapter, University of Tennessee. Jon served Zeta as their first president and in a colonization to reestablish his historical chapter. His goal was to lead the colony through a swift reorganization to set the culture for its future, which he did successfully. Zeta was rechartered in March 2018 with 131 members, and Jon was recognized for his outstanding leadership with the IFC President's Choice Award. Beyond his term as chapter president, he served as IFC Vice President of Health and Safety. That meant shaping a new role with the IFC to have IFC members, chapter presidents, and university officials collaborate to establish new health and safety guidelines for Greek activities, including tailgating. And I know personally from visiting UT, they have 107,000 seats and a huge fan base at their football games. Jon has devoted himself to national service, serving 4 years in Army ROTC. He twice was recognized as a Superior Cadet for outstanding academic and extracurricular accomplishment. As an operations officer, he was responsible for training events for ROTC programs at both the Knoxville and Chattanooga campuses. Part of his service involved participating in the 148-mile run to deliver the game ball to the Bristol Motor Speedway for the largest ever football game attendance in history, when the UT Vols played the Virginia Tech Hokies, 160,000 fans, and Jon, it obviously was the lucky game ball for the Vols that you carried. Jon, also a former Eagle Scout, was inducted into the Greek Honorary Order of Omega. He will graduate in December in computer engineering with just shy of a perfect 4.0 GPA. He will be commissioned as an officer in the United States Army at that same time. Jon is a scholar, a leader, an athlete, a gentleman, passionate about service, loyal to his faith, a brave soldier, and a true pike. Remember Robertson's favorite quote, "It's not what he has nor even what he does that directly expresses the worth of a man, but who he is. No words better describe our 2018 Robertson Outstanding Undergraduate Award recipient. Join me in congratulating Jon Reesman as I present him a check for $2,500 from our PIKE Foundation. Jon, come forward.
Thank you, Tom. I'd like to first start off by thanking a few individuals who helped make this possible. The first individuals I'd like to thank would be Michael Riedel and Graham Jewell. They were actually the consultants who came to help set up the recolonization of the Zeta chapter, as well as Kirk Swore, my chapter advisor, and also the men of Zeta chapter, especially those here present today, because it's through their hard work and success that I was even empowered to apply for this award. Lastly, I'd like to thank the men on the Robertson Award Selection Committee and those on the PIKE Foundation Board of Trustees. I'd like to tell you on my experience in Pi Kappa Alpha. It started in the spring of my sophomore year when I was at lunch with my father, a Theta chapter alumnus. I had been telling them that after going through Rush and talking to men from other fraternities on campus that something was lacking. The Greek community seemed stagnant, with all the fraternities representing the same experience under the guise of different letters. He suggested to me that we should call up the PIKE Memorial Headquarters asking about colonization because it had been silent for some time at the University of Tennessee. The timing was perfect. Josh Murphy answered the phone and happily told us that the Memorial Headquarters already had plans in motion for recolonization that fall. When August came, I interviewed with the two consultants sent to start up the colony, Michael and Graham. We were very blessed to have these two men guiding us through our first months as a colony and my first months as a president. This was critical to me because being the first colony president, these men and our advisor, Kirk, were the only ones I could look to for guidance as I set about trailblazing my position. Although my first months may have been sloppy, their help and guidance certainly set me up for success. Those in here who have been a part of a colony will know that your entire focus during that stage is to blaze through the chartering checklist and write a petition to charter, a daunting task. For the following year, my executive board lived and breathed hammering away at that checklist and doing our best to blow each of these goals out of the water. As we were coming back, the state of the Greek community at UT was in a terrible state, with many chapters suspended or gone and a trigger-happy student conduct office. However, we saw this as an opportunity as it gave us clear examples of what not to do and gave us a large vacuum in the community that we could fill. But it was only if we did things right. So we took it upon ourselves to try and go right where everyone else had gone wrong: new member plans and social event management. We started off great with our social events, providing a much safer environment than other fraternities. And even today, we still carry this on, and I personally have the pleasure of getting to do that at the IFC level as the Vice President of Health and Safety. Our start with new members, however, was a bit of a rockier one. It was admittedly idealistic to think that we could just start off with a perfect new member plan and try and be different. But with the rest of the community choosing to stick to the old ways, there was always some pull on us to go with the crowd. At one point, it became obvious that there was a growing mentality in our new member class that they didn't feel like it was hard enough because they were looking around at the other fraternities' new member classes and seeing them do all sorts of hard workouts, forced drinking, and just general undesirable activities, and they felt that they couldn't value the place that they were making for themselves in our chapter. And so it became obvious to me that something needed to be done. So we had to sit down and have a chat with the new member class and discuss what brotherhood and earning your way in really look like. You see, you don't just earn your way into your brotherhood once through some process. You show every day why you're deserving to be a brother through your actions and dedication. I think these are best described by a line from an unnamed Green Beret team sergeant. Every day is another day of selection. After that talk, we didn't have any more issues. Our colony then went on to finish the chartering process as one of the largest colonies in PIKE history, and we are still constantly working to be the best in our Greek community. I'd like to charge the brothers in this room to remember that line by the Green Beret, and it's still the concept in your own chapters. Don't let your members think they're done just because they've gotten through your pledge process. Inspire them to show every day why they are a man of Pi Kappa Alpha, because I believe that if you take this back to your chapters, this will ultimately be a cure for a lot of the issues that we struggle with as a community. I look forward to graduating in December and fulfilling my dream of commissioning into the United States Army as a second lieutenant with the intention of becoming an infantry officer, and which I will plan to continue to live by the ideals that I've learned from Pi Kappa Alpha. Thank you all, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the convention.
We're almost on time. Wow. I think we all should be inspired from what we have all experienced here today. One more round of applause for all the recipients. I was just reminded why this is always my favorite event at any conference. Congratulations to all of our Order of West Range recipients. Dr. Mahoney, Colonel Crow, Jim Chafin, Tommy Turner, and to our Distinguished Achievement recipient, Colonel Hopkins. We appreciate your personal reflections and advice, and we thank you for bringing true honor to this fraternity. We also congratulate Jon Reesman. We wish you much success, and we look forward to your support and involvement in the fraternity in the future. We can't wait to see how you will go on to shape the world. We want to thank all of our donors who have made it possible for enhancing our educational programming and providing scholarship for so many of you so that you can benefit from all the fraternity has to offer. And to undergraduates, the fraternity cannot thrive without the support of our alumni. If the fraternity is to remain strong and accomplish its mission, it will need your financial support in the future. And as you get older, remember the great experiences that you had as a Pike. Don't forget where you came from. Make it possible for other young men who will follow you into the bonds to enjoy all that the fraternity has given you. Don't forget, once a Pike, always a Pike. Thank you very much, everyone. We appreciate your attendance and look forward to a great conference.